Those glasses you got on.
They're also recording. Okay, so let's pretend in a world where all of a sudden diversity numbers shot up. All of a sudden there's more women in tech, more women of color in tech. What if I told you my concern would be that they're not working in important roles? If they're maybe secretaries, they're not coding themselves.
So I would say that that's an ongoing problem because that's the comparison, and it's not necessarily true. And there's also the same comparison I dealt with many times where they said, well, the girls are just not interested in coding, or they're just not interested in math, and they don't want to do these difficult things. And it usually is that they have been conditioned or pushed into those frameworks instead of actually being able to show that they can code. I've taught these girls. I know they can code, so I know that they have the capacity. What's happening is, even with the capacity, and the woman from Blendor is a great example because she went to MIT and Harvard, and they still basically didn't want her to do a coding job. They wanted her to have a secretarial job. And that example is the problem, because the truth is she could do it, not just because she had the skills, but she also had the education to do it, but still was tracked in a different way. I grew up the same way. I grew up in Harlem. I was coding since I was 10, and people were just basically like, no, you have to go off and do something like, social. You have to do something that, makes you feel good. And the truth is, I could code, and I just kept coding anyway because I loved it. So it's like the capacity to do is not the issue. The talent to do is not the issue. It's the conditioning that happens with that.
Okay. Thank you. There was one thing I was going to say. I actually teach a coding class at Texas State University, and when you said that diversity hasn't improved since 1999, I actually teared up for a second because I do have black students in my class. In fact, my best coding student is a black girl, which should really come at no surprise, to be honest.
No surprise at all. At Howard University, which is a predominantly black university, their best coders are usually the girls.
I can attest to that. In my experience, the guys are kind of slacking off.
They don't have the concentration, and they don't have what I call the tenacity to make sure not only is the product done, but done well. Like, they go the extra mile. And the truth is, and this is what people forget, and this is where history comes in, like we talked about the Hidden Figures. Mm-hmm. Hidden Figures is another framework of the women who were part of that frame, getting a man on the moon, but was removed from our history books. That's the kind of thing that we're dealing with, because people don't believe that a woman like Katherine Johnson could have ever existed when she was there, just because her story wasn't told, so people didn't believe it. But also, when we think about this, these other places where women are being pulled out of the storyline or the timeline, making it impossible for people to believe not only that the women and girls of color in particular can do this, but that any women can do this, and that it's just a matter of, that we just don't have examples. But we have the examples. We're just not talking about it. You're welcome. And we're just not talking about it, and we're just not highlighting them. Like, Hidden Figures is probably the biggest movie we've ever seen, with 3 women of color focused on something scientific.
Cool. Well, I thought there might be a line building behind me, but I guess there's not. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that please do keep doing what you're doing. But the other thing you have to teach them is that the coding part is the easy part. It's the social part that they still have to get over and be prepared for it. I used to tell girls, boys are mean, get over it and keep on moving forward, but it never ends. So always be prepared for it, and know that you know what you know about coding, and just keep on moving forward.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Would you